I was just screaming into this void here. I was hoping that somethingness would separate itself from the nothingness so there could be, and I mean, it's complicated. But you're here now, and that's important, I think. Hard to tell in the void, but you want to just do news jokes? It seems like you're here for news jokes, so let's just do that. All right, meet me over at the. You're supposed to cut. Archaeologists in Utah have uncovered evidence of tobacco use going back over 12,000 years. The evidence in question, a nearly perfectly preserved Marlboro trucker cap. Indigenous Peoples Day has been recognized as a federal holiday for the first time this year. When asked how he felt about sharing a holiday with Indigenous peoples, Christopher Columbus said, "What's sharing?" How did you feel about that joke, Skeleton Samurai? What, you don't think this bit is funny? Derivative of Craig Ferguson? That's a totally different... Whoa! What is that, like 19th century racism? Nobody even understands what that means. Okay, it doesn't matter. The bit is staying in because it's funny, and you should just calm down. Jeez. It's like this guy thinks he's Lenny Bruce over here. A Bosnian man recently completed work on a rotating house for his wife. Huh. Oh, look at that. Spinny, 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 spinny. We caught up with him for this report.
Hey, Phil McGrundle, theoretically Shawn News. How does your wife like the house, sir?
She leave me. She say I bankrupt family with stupid grand gesture. Life is cruel joke.
72 years old and still keeping the romance alive. We should be so lucky. Oh my god, where did these cards come from? Gross. Listen, I know things have been hard since the concept of effort was invented, but things have been especially exasperating for people in a place called Texas. So to lift your spirits, here is our very positive segment, Texas Sucks Butt. I don't understand how that's positive.
Texas sucks, but if we voted, then it wouldn't suck so much.
Huh. That is positive. Okay, for this edition of Texas Sucks Butt, healthcare. Texas leads the nation in uninsured people at 18.4%. That's double the national average. We're number one. And why is this the case? In part, it's due to Texas being one of 24 states who opted out of Medicaid funding back in 2014. 2014. If you ever want a really good cry laugh, just read the top 10 political stories of 2014. Number 3 is Ebola. I mean, do you even remember that? 2 nurses got Ebola in the United States, and it was a national scandal, even though they just got better. Good times. Anyway, back to Medicaid. Unlike loony liberal states like Louisiana and Missouri, Texas is still one of the 12 states holding out. We don't want your Obama money. The nerve coming in here acting like I'm some sort of government that provides services. How dare you? How dare So the problem with that attitude is we need that money for our hospitals because it's billions of dollars. And rural hospitals specifically need that money because they make less in the free market. In the free market. Because they have to serve a lot more uninsured people. Texas Republicans fixed this cash flow problem with duct tape, just like any good plumbing repair. Instead of taking the damn Obama money for the poors, they asked for what's called a 1115 waiver. Instead of spending all of the money, insuring 1.2 million of your fellow Texans who are currently uninsured, it compensates hospitals some of the money they lose treating those uninsured people. Not all of it, but some of it. It was supposed to be a temporary measure, just to give Texas a bridge until 2016, and then Hillary Clinton would renegotiate everything, and it would be totally fine. JK, real-life Biff Tannen just extended that duct tape for 10 years. Republicans got their wish to take less money from the federal government. Let me make that perfectly clear. We lose money as a state every year just so that poor people have to pay out of pocket for medical care. But it's not just the state that loses money. Like, everybody with a stake in healthcare loses money. Just sending unpaid medical bills to collections. The state loses money, the hospital, the people who pay for private insurance, whose premiums have to go up to cover the shortfall, the insurance companies themselves, who ultimately have to pay to keep hospitals afloat. But most of all, the person making less than $18,000 a year, who would have health insurance. These people lose a likely catastrophic amount of money. You can think of this as a giant vacuum cleaner that takes money out of the Texas healthcare system and puts it directly into the pockets of debt collectors. Which begs the question, if Republicans aren't expanding Medicaid because it costs too much, why aren't they expanding it? Why are our hospitals wasting resources chasing down debt from people living at the poverty line when those same hospitals could get money up front from Uncle Sam, already paid for? The point of all of that massive administrative spending is so that poor people don't feel entitled to free healthcare. It's punishment, plain and simple. Health insurance is the carrot, and medical debt is the stick. And all of it is designed to make you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, damn it. Get a job! I mean, it's not like a bad credit score can lead to a spiral of consequences that can hobble a person for life financially and increase the possibility of and severity of houselessness, all while restricting future earnings and therefore tax revenue from our citizens. No! The thing that really matters is that we're not taking that Obama money. The nerve, the absolute nerve of it. Just who are Republicans so intent on punishing? It's not the jobless. The vast majority of people qualified for expanded Medicaid are employed. It's disproportionately people living in rural areas. And surprise of surprises, it's disproportionately brown and black people too. But really, it's all of us. This is the deliberate removal of a safety net meant for all of us, including, might I add, 209,000 frontline workers who have been denied access to health insurance while risking infection to stock our grocery shelves and care for the sick and make our meals. This is a devastating, unnecessary hardship that we force our fellow Texans to endure, and all with the express goal of creating more exploitable workers. So now the Biden administration is attempting to cut off that duct tape funding.
I just think, hey man, why don't you take the Obama money, man? It doesn't matter, Jack. Just hey, we're friends, man. I like
these.
This is a nice win.
Cameras were turned off. I would definitely be punching you in the dick right now.
But despite the fact that 70% of Texans want expanded Medicaid, and despite the fact that Texas is losing rural hospitals faster than any other state in the country, Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick are fighting tooth and nail in court to keep the current system in place. Sadistic punishment of the working class isn't a bug in Texas. It's a feature. Also, I'm pretty sure it's what Dan Patrick orders for lunch every day. That and, I'm going to say, hay. Looks like he eats hay. So what's it going to take to change that order, Texas? Two things. One, vote. I know you've been burned, Texas. I know that we turned out in 2020 bigger than ever, and it didn't work out. And I know that Republicans are changing the map, so they have huge advantages in 2022, and there's technically nothing we can do about it unless the federal government steps in with free clearance. But God damn it, if this past year should have taught us anything, it's that every election counts. So show up. Especially for local elections, like the one that's happening right now in Austin. These elections often have very small margins and very real-world consequences. So every vote counts. Make your voice heard. Secondly, register new voters. Even after the voter registration drives in 2020, Texas still has one of the lowest rates of voter registration in the country. We absolutely can win statewide if we keep registering people. Pick up a registration form at the local library or print one out at votetexas.gov and mail it in. You know you have a friend who isn't registered to vote, and you can hold hands like friends do while they register, just for an uncomfortably long time. Just hold hands, help them register, and that's all we need to do. Hold hands for a weirdly long time, and then register, and then vote, and things would suck less. Whew. Wow. Feels better to say all that, you know? Room for improvement here in Texas. Focus on the positive, right? What's that, Skeleton Samurai? Upheld the Texas abortion ban. It's actually illegal in like the whole state now. Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, cool. See you next time.
Texas sucks, but if we voted, then it